Om Kleshabandhan Baddhanam Pradurabhutam Pramakchanam Namostu Bodhisattayo Sambuddhayo Namo Namaha Jara-vyadhi kilbishanam Pradurbhuto Vishakvaraha Namostu Bodhisattayo Sambuddhayo Namo Namo Namostu Bodhisattayo Sambuddhayo Namo Namaha. To those bound by the bonds of the kleshas, attraction, aversion, and fear, you have come to liberate, O Buddha. Salutations to you again and again, O Bodhisattva, the fully enlightened. Of those suffering from old age, illness, and sin, you are the supreme physician. Salutations to you again and again, O Bodhisattva, fully enlightened. Salutation to you again and again, O Bodhisattva, who is fully enlightened, really. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So our topic just has been introduced by Swami Yogananda, the paths, 3 paths of refuge. It does not need any philosophy to understand that life has suffering. And that suffering, we go through this suffering, but we don't try to find a way out of it. There came Buddha, who saw the suffering, understood the suffering, and then he wanted to find a way out. And not only he himself went out, but to leave a path for us in thousands of years past, to lead humanity, to help them cross their suffering, they run over their defects, difficulties of life. You know Buddha, Buddha Purnima was yesterday or day before yesterday. So full moon night, you know Buddha, that's the thrice blessed day. The day is thrice blessed because Buddha was born that day, and Buddha died that day, and Buddha got illumination on that same day. That's why it is called the thrice blessed day. This month is also the month of Shankara's birth, the Shankar Jayanti. So we cannot take 2 topics together. That's why we have not mixed Shankara, but that is also to understand, to get out of the dukkha, suffering. These great souls come again and again. To watch that suffering and themselves crossing the ocean of suffering leads humanity in that path of freedom. So this Buddha, we see suffering, but we don't learn. You know the story of Buddha. Buddha was a prince, and his horoscope said that he will be a big, great king in the world, or he will be a monk. So his father thought that I have such a big, huge kingdom, only son, so if he does not take charge of the kingdom, then all this will go waste. So he tried to keep him from childhood in an environment there is no dukkha, no suffering. Blooming flowers, singing, dancing, all light everywhere, no shade of darkness. That is the way we also blind ourselves. Camouflage, cover it. Cover it with sweet coating. Capsule, is it not? Not sweet, but it can be taken. But the content of the pills are not always sweet, it is sour. So sour, the suffering is covered with a coating of sweetness. And when things come, we just maybe once or twice feel like that, what is this, and then forget and then don't pay any attention. But Buddha was a person came to give this light to the world. So he saw being in the pleasure garden and married with a beautiful girl, his father married that. And all this he went to see, and he never saw that life has so much other side of it. He saw a sick person and asked his charioteer, what is this? Sickness. Sickness, what is sickness? Sickness, everyone will suffer. As the body goes on and its problem comes. So sickness, so it will come to me? Yes, it will come to me. You, Siddhartha. It will come to my wife, my child, my family, everyone. Yes, it will. Sickness is a natural thing. Health and sickness go together. Then another day saw a person with a old person tottering on a stick and walking. And he was surprised, what is this? But it's called old age. Old age, what is that? Eh? I will be old? Yes. Everyone will be old? Yes, everyone will be old. And he became more introspective. And he then went back, contemplated on that. Then third day they saw a person dead. Someone is carrying, all the people are carrying Haribol, or God's name, chanting. In India they do. Carry the dead body and take the name of the Lord and they do it open cremation. So, what is this? But his man is dead. Dead? What is death? He didn't even think because he was born in a climate of pleasure and fun, because his father wanted to keep that so that he does not feel any disgusted attitude towards life, so that he will be a monk, to stop that. His father planned that way, but plan went the other way. And then you see death is imminent to all of us. And then he saw a monk, last fourth day, saw a monk with a shaven head, nothing in the position, face is beaming with joy. Who is this? He's a monk. What is his credential? Oh, he is a monk, he has given up every attachment and everything and roams around the world and free soul. Then he started contemplating what is life. We see these things. Who does not see sickness? Who does not see old people like us? Who does not see the death? We all see, but we don't see. We turn our eyes as if nothing has happened there. 1-2 days we say, oh my God, this has happened, that has happened. And forget, and then go on with our own life again. And never. And he said, he became serious. That's a fundamental principle. 4 basic principles. Buddha said, suffering is there. No one can deny in the world. Suffering is there. And is it all? No. Why suffering? Why suffering? There is a cause of suffering. There's something is the cause which brings this suffering. Then that suffering cause I understand, but can it be resolved? Yes, it can be resolved. We can go over the suffering, and there is a way to go there. The four principles he got out of this vision, and he then renounced himself, not for renouncing, but to know the secret of it, to conquer this. He took the path of introspection, self-introspection, and found that everything is changing. And everything is driven by unsatiated desire. And desire is the cause of my birth and death again and again. Our life goes on with this hankering for things. Whether I got it or not. If I get it, still I want something more. If I don't get it, then still I struggle to get it. So Trishna, the thirst for the world and worldliness, the thirst for immediate sensate experience, it is our very nature. We need not have to plan that way. That is the way it is planned. Eyes will see the beauty. Ears will run for what is sweet and pleasing. All the senses are set that way, and it is going in that direction. So, but what is the end result? End result is that those who are going only for this, look at the life at the end, how frustrated. They look back their whole life and say, what did I do? And what have I achieved? All the accomplishment, all the success, wealth, prosperity, beauty, name, fame, power, position. And then when I leave, what is going with me? And then frustration comes. That should not be the life. Therefore, we have to take sharana or surrender. Refuge in the truth. What is that truth? That's why in Buddhism they call Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Three ways of surrendering ourselves to the higher power, to the truth. That's called truth. Buddhism does not talk about God, the duality concept, and then dependence on someone. Buddha said that it is you are capable of solving the problem yourself. Trust on yourself. Work on yourself. You have the power. You can do that, as I have done. Buddha himself renounced, and then he went to many people, many leaders, spiritual leaders. They gave some advice, but nothing satisfied him. So he himself then went to the deep forest and started meditating there and took a resolution. This is the thing needed in life to cross the suffering of life. That iha shana shushatu me shariram. In this asana, in this seat, let my body dry up, like a dry leaf. This body becomes like that. Iha shane shushatu me shariram. Tvak asthimangsham. This tvak, skin, asthi, the bone, mangsa, the flesh of the body, let it be apart. Or split, if it is so. Tvak asthimangsham pralayanchijat aprappa bodhi. I want to attain that illumination, bodha, consciousness. I want to be awakened into that consciousness. I want to know that reality. Aprappa, till I get it. Aprappa, getting, till I get it. I am not going to get out of this seat. I am sitting, this is the resolution. I will die here, but I will not get up. Extreme renunciation, extreme detachment, extreme determination to know the truth. That is what we learn from Buddha. And Buddha taught us what? That is Buddham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. Why Buddha? Buddha is a man like us. He was a king maybe, he may be a prince like that. But what that makes him special? This is the speciality. Strong determination to know the truth. If there is dukkha, I'll have to work on that. Is there, I can overcome that dukkha. Dukkha will not go away. You see, for no one's life, the suffering has gone away. Is a rich person, poor person, educated, non-educated, a king or a pauper, it matters little. If a saint also have suffering. They become saint because of the suffering, no? They endure the suffering. Suffering does not go away. But you jump over the suffering. Suffering does not touch you, will not touch you, will be incapable of touching your inner peace, inner tranquility, inner joy. Is there anything can be done? That was done by Buddha with a strong determination when he sat and said, I will give up this body in this seat, not going to get up. That's a strong resolution. We can do that one day and second day we forget. For our spiritual life, what we do? We plan that today I will every day morning I will do half an hour meditation, no? Then so many reasons comes today, okay, I am busy and today my body is this, today my duty is like that, and then forget. No strong resolution. That's why achievement is so much. And Buddha is Buddha because of his strong power, mental strength, to have that strength to take that resolution and determine. And he actually did that and become emaciated day and night thinking the unreal nature of the world. Everything is changing. What is the truth? Why it is going on? And everything is changing, then why I get attracted? Why I am so much attached? Let things come. Why am I attached there? Trishna, Trishna. Then in the whole Buddhistic literature you will find more the word Trishna, Tanha. Trishna means thirst. Thirst for this immediate enjoyment of life through petty things, which does not stay with us for a split second and it goes away. Like a sprinkling some hot water in the fry pan. What happens? Fry pan, you put the water, split second, it is a little cool in one while the water drop has fallen, but next moment it is gone, it's again hot. So this is the thirst is forcing us, Trishna. Why is suffering coming? Because I desire something else. And that something is not fulfilled. I feel restless and my suffering starts there. So that leads us to to attain any desired end, I do what? Karma. Karma brings again another desire brings another more karma. Some person is having one job, got another job offer. Ask you, I will take that job. Okay, do 2 jobs. Then what happens? Morning is busy, night is busy, day and night. Then he himself kills himself. It may be necessary, but with the hope of having more joy, they become really victim of suffering. So this is the point. Desire, more desire, more desire. Desire cannot be satiated by fulfilling the desire. But watching this momentariness, watch it, experience it once or twice, and understand it is not desired goal. I have to conquer this. And how conquer? Conquering is not vacant or something void. Conquering is fulfillment. That's why Buddha then went on doing this tremendous austerity. And actually he sat on that seat, and after sitting, he was almost going to die. Emaciated body, One day he went to see the reflection in the water. He used to drink water from the river and little fruits and things which fall. But mostly fasting. And then one day, some lady came in the forest. She prepared some rice pudding. And she thought that there will be some goddess. Her prayer was that if my desire is fulfilled, I will give this offering to goddess of the forest. And entering there, she found Buddha seated, emaciated body like his unmoving state, deeply absorbed. And then he offered it to him, and that he started taking. And then he came to the middle path. Oh, that's also the point. That extreme is not the point. In life, we have to take the middle path, which Gita suggested. Don't sleep, only sleep. Balance sleep, balance eating, balance life. Whatever you do balance. And then that will bring peace and joy. So he took that balanced path, and then intense spirituality, detachment from his own kingdom, his own palace, and he is now in the forest, a beggar, hungry, but dedicated to knowing the truth. And he didn't define the truth as God, Brahman, Atman, Allah, Ishwar, nothing. The truth. He has defined the word as truth. Know the truth. And he did that, and then ultimately he got one day illumination. And getting that illumination, he was so excited. So like Eureka. And then he walked up and down. There is a path if you go to Bodh Gaya, you will find that near the Bo tree where he did that sadhana. And there is a pathway. It's called the Buddha's path. It's so ecstatic in joy. She was so walking back and forth for 7 days alone, like a mad guy. To whom to tell this, that tremendous truth which can be achieved in human life, and it's full of bliss, full of peace, full of perfection. And then he started thinking that where will be Benares was the place for all this preaching of this dharma. So he came over there, and then 5 people who rejected them because he took the rice pudding, so 5 ascetics also joined. They thought that Buddha is becoming more luxurious, so having the payasam after a long time. So they rejected him and then left. And they found in the Benares, they all settled in Benares, these associates. And then Buddha came from a distance, and seeing from distance, Buddha said, oh, that Buddha is coming, who is a fallen yogi. But when he came, approached in front of them, they saw it's a different Buddha. He's a Buddha, he has awakened. His spiritual impact transformed them, and they became the first disciple of Buddha. And now what Buddha did? Buddha didn't come for his own liberation. We think in Hinduism, Buddha is an incarnation of God. God himself comes down in human form. There is a purpose of that. But what he said, he started just preaching that message to the length and breadth of India, and taught the philosophy of ahimsa, non-injury, and the spirituality, the 4 principles. There is suffering, it is your responsibility. You have to accept that there is suffering, and you have to find there is a cause of your suffering. And 3rd point, there is a way out, and it can be successfully done. You can conquer total suffering from your whole life, and never to be born, never to go back again. So he preached this principle all over, and created a group of followers. Those who responded to the call, they are monks. They follow him. Buddha, that's why I said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, the person. Buddha, the person who have experienced this, like us, a human being, conquering the suffering? The people started following him, seeing his life, seeing his spiritual presence and uplifting condition of their mind. They all followed Buddha. That's why they started monks, monastics, and they renounced everything and worked on the principle of finding the truth within under the guidance of Buddha. And that created gradually a group of sannyasis, monks, monastics. Bauddha Sangha. Sangha means congregation of people who are believe in that particular idea. Ours is called Ramakrishna Sangha. Sangha, an organization who have followed the principle of Sri Ramakrishna, what he stands for. Buddha, what he stands for. They are not different, but the emphasis is one side or the other side. So that's why they took refuge to Buddha, Buddha's love, unconditional love, his contribution to take away the sufferings of others, listening to the problems of others, and teaching in very simple language. People became attracted to him. One lady came with his son, died, and she came and fell at the feet of Buddha and said, Buddha, so please, my son is dead, so you have to do something. Bring back that child to life. I cannot live without the baby, the child. And Buddha advised, beautiful advice. Buddha said, okay, I will do it. So mother was excited. Yes, you can do that. Yes, please do. But I need something. Well, what do you need? I need some mustard seeds. Mustard seeds? I'll get it. How much you need? No. You have to bring mustard seed, bake the mustard seed from some home. Only ask, no one died in that home. Bring one handful of mustard seed. She thought that is so easy. I'll go and ask for one handful of mustard seed. In Indian home, they entertain the guests. They feed, they do everything. So what to get a handful of mustard seed is nothing. So I will go. But only, Buddha said, only remember that house you bring where death has not entered into that home. When nobody died. And you know the frustrated lady, she went to one home to other home, to the other home, to the other home. It's getting the same response. Someone says, my child died, my mom died, my dad died, my this died. Naturally, it is a very common phenomenon of life. And then she came back to Buddha. Buddha wanted to give this enlightenment, this knowledge. Accept death is an inevitable end result of life. It will happen. Be careful. Think about that. It is not negative, but it is to think of the reality. How much cheerful, how much strong you may be in the body. Death is haunting us behind. Therefore, up and doing. Do be up and doing. And follow the principle of truth. And make your life blissful. Make your life peaceful. Conquer the suffering. Suffering you are to conquer. It is your responsibility. What do you want? What do we want through our experience of the world or experience of having this thing, that thing? We want peace, we want joy. But it is a frustration. We don't get it, but we still want. So Buddha said, learn this by your own experience. Ask, look around. Is there anyone who have conquered their death? Physical death? Physical death will happen to the physical body. This is changing. But the truth that is not changing, that is the you. So, this Buddha, surrender to Buddha means Buddha is not a man, Buddha is the principle. Buddha is an embodiment of experience. Buddha is a consciousness which awakens our inner consciousness. So Buddham Sharanam Gacchami means follow the life of Buddha, how he lived. How he lived being a prince, having so much potential of running a kingdom with power and everything was ready. But he ruled the whole world by giving up this kingdom. He got the kingdom of the world. See, after 2,500 years now, the whole world is still worshipping Buddha. Isn't that a better application of our energy to be a Buddha? If we have the potential. If no potential, that's okay. But we have the potential. We can be Buddha. And we can be a fool. So Buddha said, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. First point, let there be a pole star in my life. Awakened soul. Awakening into consciousness. And not awakened, we are awakened in the world. Bhagavad Gita says, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutana Tasyam Jagarti Sangami Jasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashato Mune. That which is like a day is like a dark night for the Gyanis. That means which attracts us. It's a most pleasurable thing. They are not interested in it. And Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutana, in which truth we are all sleeping. The awakened people are in their own realm, of bliss. They are fully aware of that state. We are unaware of that state, of the divinity, and we think this world, what is going on, all these little tidbit things every day, is so serious, so important. And less important is that truth. And for them, this world is meaningless. That truth is the ultimate. So this is the change. That's why Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sangha is the congregation where we shall get this spiritual insight and inspiration. If I go to Hollywood Boulevard to find Nirvana, will be a congenial place. We live in Hollywood. But, or you come to the Trabuco, or you come to any holy place of worship, meet the devotees of the similar-minded people who are struggling to conquer their own suffering, their death. What will be the congenial place? Congenial place will be where similar-minded people dedicated for the great cause. Following that, you get inspiration from each other. Sangha is an organization of spiritual-minded people who value these ideas that there is dukkha, there is a way to get out of the dukkha, there is a cause of dukkha, that is to be wiped out. What is the cause? We go to doctors. So they say that you have this high cholesterol. Okay, there is a cause. Cholesterol is the cause. Where it comes from? Go back. You eat. What did you eat? You eat that, you eat that. Don't eat that, don't do that. No. Then you manipulate the cause, the effect will be different. So this dukkha in which we are going through is our own made. We made it. We want that dukkha. That's why we are suffering. But we can undo that. It's my choice. I have done it. Knowingly or unknowingly. But this is the Buddha says, no. Knowingly, you try to solve this problem. And where will you do? You are alone. You will be getting in spiritual journey, you will be frustrated. But though if you find that so many people are following the same path, so many people are meditating, so many people are trying to find the truth within, and I am a part of that, my inspiration will be much more and journey will be easier. So Sangham Saranam Gacchami. And Sangha Saran only not Sangha, that's why this huge amount of monastic tradition was created by Buddha. And it has become such a rule afterwards. That is the decadence of Buddhism. Everyone should be monk. Why everyone should be monk? You should not be monk out and out. If that's the calling, your calling you do. But not that every family, every boy, every girl will have to be monk and nun. That created a total confusion. So they created a Sangha, organization of the monastic order. And Buddha himself being a leader of that, he used to move from one place to another, and this Sangha, this whole organization, used to move with him. And he used to rest in some garden house of rich people, or the kings supported later on, when the Sadhu Sangha organization became big. They will take their shelter and they will be engaged in day and night in spiritual practice, no? In knowing who they are by their own self-introspective attitude. So they will not go for any begging. They can go for begging, but they will not cook food for themselves. That's the monastic tradition. And monastic tradition is not, Buddha didn't create that monastic tradition. Monastic tradition was India's eternal path of liberation. And our Upanishad says, Jadharego virajet, tadharego pravajjet. As soon as you find this life, and this life has no meaning for you, you find something higher, call comes. Just give up that moment and be a monk. And then dedicate yourself 24 hours for that, realizing the truth. So monastic order was there, but Buddha first made it a congregation of monks. And Sangha is established, Buddhistic monasteries. So these Buddhistic monasteries, then in the rainy season, they used to sit together and they cannot walk and go to beg food. That was called the Chaturmasya. So every time in the 4 months, when the rainy season, they used to sit together, and that time they were to do more of scriptural studies with Buddha, putting questions of their life, each one's spiritual progress, how it is happening. So that way the congregation started. Like Ramakrishna. Surrounding Ramakrishna, so many young people came who wanted to know the truth, and they created a spiritual atmosphere. And then that is the starting point of today's Ramakrishna movement, which is worldwide movement now. No? So Buddha is a same, and it started in the surrounding Buddha. Life is needed. Mere talk will not do. From the lecture platform we can talk big things. But to implement it to the life and to find the truth, really you find the truth, you get it, and your presence will uplift the others. That is the guiding force. And Buddha, being enlightened, he carried that force with him and this monastic tradition. And that helped the monastics, as also those who are similar-minded people, to come and associate with them, and naturally to find a way of release from the suffering and bondage. So this is Buddham Saranam, Sangham Saranam, and Dharmam Saranam. What is the Dharma? You have to pay some price for this. Just sitting for meditation will not do. Give up this which is obstacle to the growth, which is obstacle to understanding the truth which is inside us. So how it is blocking? That is the same question. You desire, curb the desire and give it a higher turn. Curb the desire, the small desire which does not fulfill, turn it towards the desire to know the higher thing. That will give you greater joy. It is not losing your joy. But it starts at the beginning, it is very little sour. That which is very spiritually uplifting, that is towards the beginning you have to pay the price, so it is too much sour. Because you have to get up in the morning, you have to do the austerity, you will have to do this and that and prayer and meditation. And see how Buddhist or institutions you go, they are chanting in the morning and discipline, so many hours meditate. You all know, you all go to Vipassana meditation, no? Many of you have gone and visited. How many days you meditate there? In one stroke? 10 days. Huh? You just go and sit and 10 days sit there. At one time. The whole life you have to do. So these are the troublesome things. That's why we don't go in that line. We think that easily we can get it, no? So always now to get everything cheap. Cheap price you give, cheap material you get. So if you give greater price, then you get a good material. And what is the sacrifice we do for sacrifice? Our life is sacrifice. Our life is dedication. We go to school to get a degree. How much we sacrifice? Our fun, our joy, our friendship, our party. To get, say, he's graduated school. So, school graduation takes you so much energy. And this graduation from all this dukkha will not take time. So have that. And that's why dharma, the ideas, truthful living, non-injury, these are the vows to take and live along in the path, doing good to others, not harming anyone by thought, word or deed. All these big principles to be followed in life. So this is the path of surrendering to Buddha, the path of surrendering to Sangha, the holy organization, and path to follow the Dharma, the righteous path, which will lead me, help me to conquer this suffering, dukkha joy. So Buddha did that, and that's why the holy organization is thriving. Behind that, there is the spiritual force, which lingers long in the world. You look at that. Where there is spiritual force, those are the powerful things lingers in the world. Look at that. When Buddha came, what about, say, Christ came? 2000 years. The spiritual force, what he has added. You are the monk out now. Christ, what was he? His guru was what? You are the monk. And he himself a monk. And all the associates, they joined with him that time. They are all monks. Monks means what? They find a path to realize the truth and no time and attention for other things. Other things don't have any pleasure for them and they don't find any joy in that. They withdraw from that idea. So they turn inward. That's what we call renunciation, we call detachment, whatever the language we use it. So this Sangha is very important factor. In our tradition also, look at that. This Ramakrishna came, did tremendous spiritual sadhana. That's it. That is the source of this organization. Following him, their disciples came, Vivekananda, Brahmananda, Shivananda, all these names we hear, you can read the lives. What a tremendous detachment from the world. What a tremendous immersion experience in the truth. They forgot the whole world. All for God, and their food, their sleep, their comforts, everything is given up for God and God. Here we are using the term God, and Buddhism I say the truth. So this is the same force. And then you see some people who are attracted to that, they will be renouncing the world, detached from the world, loving God, loving humanity, serving God, serving humanity, and then build up their life so that they get more inner light, more and more and more and more. And like that one day, like Buddha became enlightened, so enlightenment will be in our life. So Shankara did the same thing. As I said, Shankara, he first got his illumination from his guru, and then he was then left in the South India. He went from then he composed by the order of his guru to write the commentaries on their scriptures. And then when he was done, then again his life was extended sometime 8 years to 16 years. 16 years, when he was 16 years, he finished all these commentaries of the tremendous spiritual text. We can read the Gita, Upanishad, and Brahma Sutra, they are commentaries. Shankaracharya completed them. And then afterwards, after having that again, Lord Shiva appeared, Vyasdev appeared. And then he argued with him and then confronted Shankara, and then Shankara got the blessings of Vyasa, said that you have explained this, but it is not enough. You are giving another 16 years life. So you preach this message. He said, why shall I preach? I have my disciples, they will preach. But he said, no, you needed, because Buddha needed. One Buddha is needed to preach. Ramakrishna preached himself. He himself went to Calcutta, streets of Calcutta, to the houses of Calcutta, to the people who are seeking for truth, went to their home and preached. He himself started, and Vivekananda took up that and preached, and all the movement till now, by their grace, this movement is going on to the monks and devotees. So it is not Buddha comes, Shankara came, Ramakrishna came as an example, enlightenment, going over dukkha, dukkhantancha nigacchati. Gita says, getting this experience, you will end all suffering. Suffering will be in the body. Buddha, whatever health issue will be there. Shankara, he had his problem. Ramakrishna had his throat cancer. That will not be cured. But question is that you have to conquer that dukkha. How? That is the way of enlightenment. So it is happening again and again in the life of incarnation. So there are three things coming again and again. Buddha, the personality, who is in flesh and bone, looks like a human being, but an embodiment of love and consciousness, love for humanity, to serve humanity. They come and lead a life of austerity and all this exemplifying the highest ideal. Ordinary people like us, we cannot do that austerity, what Buddha did, what Christ did, what Ramakrishna did. But we can do a little bit. Ramakrishna says, I have done so much, you do little bit. That much we'll do to inspire us. So, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, we can say Ramakrishna Saranam Gacchami, Shankaram Saranam Gacchami, whatever you like. Take refuge in that great principle. That great principle of detachment, love, unconditional love for humanity, and tremendous desire to know the truth, and give up everything, all kingdom, wealth, prosperity, people's name, fame, position, power. Nothing is valuable for that. This is the price of that. So, Buddha. And then you cannot do alone, then try to take refuge in a Sangha. That's why we call it in another language members, no? In modern language it has members of the church. Meaning, I like this philosophy and I am connected with it, I am a part of that. So, be a part of a spiritual organization where the spiritual values have been upheld. the values of self-realization, values of conquering the dukkha, suffering. And follow, not only go there, follow the disciplines, dharma, the principles of detachment, of sacrifice, of selflessness, of meditation, of prayer, of purity, of analysis, analyzing the world in its very crude sense. Everything to be analyzed. Is it permanent? Is it leading me to the spirituality? Is it giving me greater strength, greater power, greater insight, greater spirituality in me, making me stronger and powerful? So that we have to surrender there. So dharma. So three things are very important in our life. Buddha, the ideal, who incarnated as a human personality. Second, Sangha, following that ideal. Those who lead this whole attraction of the world and they turn towards the divine. That Sangha is the association of the monks, renunciates, as well along with the devotees who are of similar minded, joining them. Sangha and dharma. Do something. Not joining the party, it is not joining a party, but joining to do meditation, prayer, study, intensifying our spiritual life. So these are the things we should take surrender. We should surrender our life to so many things in the world. We go to a lawyer, we surrender. This is the court case going on. This is my trouble, please help me. And we give a, what you call? Power of attorney. Baba, you do for me. But we don't give power of attorney to Buddha. We don't give power of attorney to Ramakrishna. We don't trust them. So whether he will be able to manage my things or not, who knows? But we do things. We do give power of attorney to many people, many times. Okay, you do take care, I will not say anything. Whatever you do, I will accept it. So there we have to give power of attorney to Buddha, the truth, the personality through which it manifested, through this holy organization. It's holy because it is spiritual. Holy because the foundation is the deep spirituality and its manifestation. And then Sangha, Dharma, the way to live a spiritual life, the rituals and practices which will make me undergo this discipline of self-control, self-mastery, finding the glimpses of light within by selfless work, by service, by meditation, by prayer, or whatever way. And analysis particularly permanent and impermanent. So that's great that we pray on the Buddha's occasion. We thought about our goal of life. And this is the three Ratna. It's called three Ratna, three jewels. Buddha, Sangha and Dharma. We crave the blessings of the Lord for our spiritual development. Thank you.